a little bit spaced out. So I just had a session in the water, and there's some stuff coming through for the old souls and the sensitives and the empaths. Like when we allow nature and the elements to hold us, we can really go into our own bodies and minds and really start to connect deeply and release what we need to release. And as old souls, placing ourselves, if we're drawn to them, in specific elements, i.e. being by the water today, I knew I needed to cleanse from yesterday, just being in other people's energy, and part of daily rituals, daily practices, and there was really no one down there. And when you are so moved by nature, so moved by our landscape, so moved to tears by creation, you know that you're sensitive. The way that the environment around us speaks to us, the way we interact with that natural elemental energy is very profound, and can activate things in us and tell us things that we need to do in order to maintain a life that we deserve or desire, because it speaks to us in ways that heal us from pain and anything that's been holding us back for a lifetime, for lifetimes potentially. Because as an old soul, like when you get called to be in a specific part of the world or a land, when you get these callings and you honour that, you start to speak a different language, and you start to connect differently to your soul, and you also can see other people walking on their soul path. And in honouring and choosing that path, which is hard, it's really not for everybody, that's why everyone's not doing it, although we are in a mass awakening, and so there are things that will come to the people right now. So should we choose to ask questions, we will get the answers that we need. And tapping into our own mind, body, spirit, external from anything else around us, which comes from solitary moments, and we start to listen to our body, what she's craving, what she's desiring, how she's expressing, what she feels she might be lacking, vitamins, whatever. Women are connected to the cycle, so there's certain points and certain things that we might get called to or drawn to after that, beetroots and lots of red fruits and various things. And I don't know why that's coming through at the minute. Maybe someone's on their moon time and needs to be collecting more with appropriate foods to nourish the system and the regeneration of those cells. But old souls, there is something to do with the way that we've moved through the ages in our different lives that calls us to these places where expanse and space, timelessness, is very, very special, and something that we need to integrate into our daily, if not daily, weekly, monthly practices for our betterment, for our peace, for our internal alignment. Because just the things that we all go through as humans on the realm, wherever our soul has been, whatever country or dimension or reality we might identify from dreams or visions or connections with other people that mirror our soul depth. there's just lots of activations going on. And 505, the water, what she provides me with is the beginning of time. And when I get moved to tears, I find that quite profound. I don't know why that happens, but obviously there's a sensitivity, there's a just what natural beauty can do to the soul is just powerful. And so when you're in the water, for me, this is an element that she talks to me, and she'll assess my body, and I get messages of what I need to do. And I've had a little niggle in my body, and I've been working on it. And then today, after a beautiful session in the water, and then with Jua, the sun, and I've come out of the water and done something that I've never done there publicly, because when I tend to go through stuff in my body and I stretch and I go onto the floor, and I can be in a stretch exercise for like over an hour and a half, 2 hours, and that can sometimes come in the middle of the night if I'm called maybe to go to the toilet for a wee or whatever, and then I get up and then something says no, you're staying up, and like I will start to stretch and something will just guide me, and I can move into different positions for up to 1 or 2 hours. And don't ask me why it happens. Well, I know why, but it's not for me to explain my personal stuff and what my soul calls me to do. But we'll all honour what we needed to do. But my body talks to me in ways that I've learnt to listen to over the past couple of years, as I've not ignored what's important to me. And I started to honour myself and just more self-respect. So the water gave me some nourishment in one way, and then I came out, and the way the sun can wake up your cells and stuff, it can activate the fire in your body. And so I just went into a series of heart opening and hip expanding stretches, and from one point where there was no one, then there were people, and they were like, hey, can we join? And I just literally, I can't engage, because it's like you spend energy in the wrong direction when you expel words from the vessel, when you're meant to be focusing on relieving pressure or tension or energy from the vessel. And I don't know why I was doing this, but it was, going down into like full on pigeon, and then some sort of martial arts sort of influenced stretches, and just really expansive in the body. And I didn't know I was going to do that. But I listened, and I've been floating ever since, because I'm just so connected right now. And there's been some things about time travel and various things with some of the connections that I've been, having in the past couple of weeks. But last night I was on the porch in a beautiful space, very grateful, and the rain started to come down, and it was in the dark, so there were no lights, and I got a flashback, which this is probably coming up because people might be getting flashbacks from past lives, so that they can heal the vessel now, so that we can start to honour the missions that we're being called on, and not be tied to past karmic past lives that we've not healed, parts of our soul that we're not listening to. We've been trained to ignore. And I got a flashback to, I already know that I've been on the water and I've lived past lives in the water as various things which I don't need to share. So I got a massive, intense vision of being out at sea with only sea around me. And it wasn't pleasant, because we were in the middle of a storm. And I wasn't alone, so I know my past connections with who's been out on the water with me. And that was strange. you know, I share because it's not that we can make human mind sense of this stuff. This is if we believe in a soul, if we believe in a calling, if we believe in past lives. It just heals at a very, very deep level. And being present in those moments without words means that, you know, closed eyes as well, and doing prayer, whatever you need, however we honour the Most High creation right now, because natural beauty is just Gaia is just, she's just electric at the minute. And when I say electric, I tried to do the video the other day, it didn't really come out as being disturbed by a little cat here, but we're magnetic when we start to connect at that level of how we know we've lived through the ages. So much so, I was walking down a road that I've walked many, many, many times on a day where there was very, very, very high energy. And I had to cleanse from someone that I connected with because she was on a hype thing. And it's no disrespect, this is just me observing energy. And I had to speak to the wind and make sure things were being pushed out of my personal space, because there's a lot of chaotic energy where people can't seem to make clear choices for their highest good. There's just a lot of ungroundedness. And so as I was clearing that energy, I was walking along, and this like lines electrified and burnt the bush in front of me, like at a height, so it didn't fall down, it wouldn't have hurt me, but like we need to know that we're electric beings right now. We need to know that the energy in the world is electric. We've got to be really mindful, and the more grounded we are, the foods that we eat and everything is like is a protection for our body. We've got to protect in the spirit, because, you know, had I been a different person, had that thing electric, like things are not always going to work out the same way for one person it is to another, because of who we are, who we're protected by in the spirit, how we've looked after ourselves, and generally our karma. Karma is not a negative thing. Karma is the lessons. It's the energy that we stack up over time, over the ages. It's our core value system. It's what we do behind closed doors when no one's watching, like when no one's watching. Someone, or 1242, 1242. There's always someone watching. People don't have to believe that. There's always spirits around us. That's just, for me, that's now fact. People might need to see things to believe things in the old paradigm of the bullshit realm, but we believe here, and we see because we believe. And after having seen things that are unexplainable, we get humbled and we just keep our mouth shut. And there's no point in trying to convince anyone around us if they don't believe, because that's cool. I'm not going to spend time with people that don't believe in magic, because that dims my magic and it dims the experiences that unfold right in front of me, alongside the stunning family of birds, 4 that came on the water, you know. But this electricity thing, many ways of interpreting that, messages from things, but anyway, we are electric beings, and so nourishing mind, body, spirit, mentally connecting. There is really important. And I'm still floating. I haven't fully come down, but I trust that the people that I speak to here are honouring their soul's mission, their soul's work, their soul's passion, their soul's worth, soul's power. Because it would be really sad to not live in that kind of alignment. 1441 on the clock. And you know, things are never permanent, things are temporary, and there's seasons and cycles, and we get gifted a new location or new experience according to what we are honouring. And I've just really been in the magic, and I'm very, very grateful. And I know that's coming for a lot of the people that live with the heart as number one, you know, Ubuntu, part of the healing of the nations, part of doing things for the right reason, even though I don't really believe in right and wrong. It's just that alignment of truth. And like, truth is the highest form of love. People believe that love is all wishy-washy and, you know, gentle. And truth is like, it's harsh at times. It's tough. It asks for a level up. It says, how are we lying to ourselves? What are we doing to our mind, body and soul? It's actually not for longevity. Surely we want to be on this magical planet for as long as we are able to, for as long as we've been given the mission and the opportunities and the capabilities to take us to that end point. Sorry, there's a lot of releasing. I've been releasing for doing some work, shadow work for a few people. Whether they know it or not is not for me to judge. I've just been called to do a bit of energy support work. So there's a lot channeling through this electric being right now. And so give thanks to Maji, the water, Bahariya Hindi, the Indian Ocean, Jua, the sun, for helping me share this message today. I trust that you connect with the elements that you feel misaligned in your body.